Hi, today we'll have a look at how to use the Complete Business Finance Management template. We'll start by hiding the top ribbon to have more space. Great. First, let's go into the settings page. This is where you can enter parameters to set up the tool. We can enter the month of the start of the financial year, the year we want to report on, a couple of taxes name, the beginning cash on hand, and select a language. Let's go to the Translation tab. This is where we can customize our 3 base languages, which is English, French, and Portuguese, and set up a 4th one. Moving on to the category section. This allows you to set up the list of income categories as well as the list of expense categories. Let's add a new income category. We'll call it property lease. Great. Next, the budget. This is split into 2 sections, the budget income and the budget expense. The budget income is a list of all income categories and sections to enter monthly budget. Let's enter monthly budget for a newly created category, property lease. Great. The budget expense tab is very similar to the budget income tab, only to list expenses. Let's move on to the customer tab. This is a table listing all clients and their details. Let's add a new one. We'll call him Elon Musk. And we'll enter all his details. Looking into the supplier list, we can see it is very similar to the customer list, except it lists suppliers rather than customers. Let's go into the income tab. There are 12 tabs, one for each month, each allowing you to enter a detailed list of all incomes. The header indicates the total payment received for the month, the account receivable, which is the remainder left to be paid, the total income, the budget, as set up in the income budget section, and the percentage actual versus budget. Let's enter a new record together. We'll set a date, an invoice number, select a customer. Let's add our newly created customer, Elon Musk. Enter a category. Once again, we'll select our newly created category, property lease. Enter an amount. As you can see, the 2 taxes auto-calculate based on the amount that has been entered. So does the total. Finally, we'll just indicate if the payment has been received or not. This process has to be repeated for every month of the year. Moving on to the expense tab. This is very similar to the income tab, but allows you to enter the monthly expenses rather than incomes. Great, we're now ready to look at the reports. We'll start with the cash flow. The filter in the top right allows you to visualize all incomes and expenses, or only the one with payment already made received, or only the one with invoices left to be paid out and expenses left to be paid. The header indicates the beginning cash on hand, the total income, total expenses, the profit or loss, and the ending cash on hand. The graph underneath displays the monthly income and expenses and the monthly cash on hand. Further down, a table indicates the total income, total expenses, profit or loss, and the cash on hand for each month. Moving on to the receivable and payable report. This report compares incomes and expenses side by side. We first have the payments received and left to be paid, and the total income. The percent of payment receipt indicates the value that has already been paid, and finally, the accounts receivable per month indicates the total value that is left to be paid out per month. On the expense side, we can see the paid bills, the account payable, and the total, as well as the percent of payment made and the accounts payable per month. Great, let's move on to the overview report. This indicates the expenses and incomes actual versus budget. Let's look at the income section. We start with the donut chart indicating the actual versus budget ratio. We also have the budget income, actual income, and the difference on the side. Further down, we have a chart indicating actual and budget income per month. And finally, further down, a table indicating the budget, actual, difference, and actual income percent of budget per month. Once again, the same information is displayed on the right-hand side for expenses. Let's go to the budget by categories. First thing to do is to refresh the report to ensure the latest data is being shown. Perfect. Let's look at the incomes. We can see the total budget income, the total income, the difference or balance, and the percentage of budget for the year and per category. The filter on this side allows you to choose a specific month to visualize. The budget expense section is very similar to the budget income section, but displays expenses rather than incomes. Let's go to the income category section. This report displays income per category either per month or per quarter. The expense by category is very similar to the income by category, but shows expenses rather than incomes. Let's keep going on the income by customer, which shows all of the incomes split out per customer and per month or per quarter. Same thing with the expense by supplier. Finally, the taxes report. This last report displays both the income and the expense categories per quarter and the difference. And that's it. You know everything you need to know about our complete business finance management template, and you're ready to start using it now. Enjoy!